on in. Okay, what's up, everybody? That is not the frame. I don't know what's happening. We'll fix that real quick. Wow, what is going on? Hello? Okay, well, that will be fixed. What the hell's going on? We'll fix this right now, but wow. This is just like the game. It was a hot mess. And then doused with showers afterward. Okay, not sure why that's happening. Let me figure out a quick thing here. Boom. Does not want to work. Okay, all sorts of technical difficulties tonight. Super fun. Love it. Love it. Let me try to fix this. BRB. Okay, does not want to work, even though it looks right on my own screen. Super fun. Okay. We'll just keep adjusting it until it wants to do something similar to. Hello, hello. Super close. All right, we got it. Okay, well, everyone, this starts off very auspiciously, but it's a 3-2 loss to RSL. Our home opener, we completely crapped the bed and, yes, let in 3 goals to a crowd that was already unsettled, uneasy, and, yeah, 2-0. We did pull one back, but then they immediately were able to get a third. And yes, eventually we were able to get another one to where we were trying to fight for that third, an equalizer, but ultimately we ran out of time, so to speak. We did at least look a lot more, I think, competent in some respects. We were really trying to be direct, over the top. It seems like, at least at home, with the energy from the fans, that we are able to at least kind of get the get some semblance of attack, but undone really, really badly by a very, very poor defense. And to let in 2 early goals is never, ever how you want to start a game. And yeah, I mean, Tata Martino mentioned after the match that, as far as he was being asked about the center back duo, he said, that's the duo that I chose. And I think we've harped on this, but Stian Gregerson hasn't seen any minutes. Matt Edwards immediately looked a little bit better. He did have to come inside a little bit. And as far as like that recovery speed, which seems like a very, very important thing, especially when we're playing a very high line. It just is outrageous that we're even expecting us to play this type of style when the center back pairing are just getting beat on the turn very, very easily. It just cannot happen. And then, yeah, that spearhead of the attack is leaving a lot to be desired. It is just not cutting it. And, yeah, Alexei Miranchuk has a brace. It's his first start. And, yeah, he actually looks like someone that actually wants to play for this team, actually wants to score some goals. It's just, yeah. But you also have a Matias Galarza that came on, and, yeah, it seems like a guy that really wants to get in the good graces of his gaffer. And Tata Martino, when he brought him on, I'm sure he was delighted with what he saw, because with his left foot, he was doing some bits. His effort, his pressing, I mean, he was closing down the keeper still late in the match as well. And so, yeah, definitely something that there are some bright spots here. It's not all terrible, but 3 losses to start the season is by far our worst start to the season. And against a side, RSL, that has 6 players out injured, and Diego Luna, their talisman, also out, and they score 3 against us, just cannot be allowed to happen. But yeah, we'll get some of our buddies on very shortly. And yeah, so Tanner and Mark will join us very, very shortly. But yeah, also, if you guys can hear me in the chat, this is probably a good thing. Throw some 1s and 2s so that I know. But yeah, Michael was joining us at the game, so he was not able to start this stream, and there's some horrid traffic outside. There is also torrential rain which is always super fun. But Joshua Ilsa says is not bad game. I'm not exactly understanding that, but Alan Salazar says Sinatra's "That's Life" should be the anthem of the year. Man, yeah, right. It is. It's rough. It can be rough. Yeah, Mark, when you get in here, turn on your camera. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Love it. All right, let me drop this in a little bit. Let's see if it'll work for me. Hello? Hey? Perfect. And it is a mess for some reason. Okay, that's why. You guys need to see my screen because it looks perfect, but this doesn't look at all what I'm looking at. Okay. So, let me get your images on the screen because our program does not want to work for some reason. So, let's do something to fix this. And we'll get some beautiful faces onto the stream. Maybe. We shall hope. Guys, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. It's a mess. I get it. But it can't.
The program out here is working about as well as
about the team.
in goal.
Exactly. And basically, yeah, you know, this can't be worse than what you saw tonight. Like, yeah, there's no way. So,
I mean, it might be. There's some positives to cling to.
yeah, but yeah, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, this is about to be circa 2020 here, if I can get this right here. Man, come on, almost there. Nope, nope, it doesn't want to do it. Why? Good God, why? It doesn't make any sense. Okay. How about I just like move things all the way around, and we'll just guess at the positions. Because Mark, you can come in here real quick. Like literally, you'll see what I'm seeing is different.
Hold on.
Yeah. Man, we need to do a BRB maybe, but
Technical difficulties.
yes, absolutely technical difficulties. You see this? Like, this is wild. This is wild. I don't understand, and I don't know if I will ever understand tonight. But you know, what's gonna happen is we're just gonna have to deal with it, but somehow figure it out. Okay, man. Oi, ay caramba. Almost there. Almost there. We'll drag your faces slowly but surely into the frame. Oh, hey, we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
This is the night of setbacks. As I leave the stadium, torrential rain pours.
We're getting slightly closer. Is this hilarious, guys? Because it is. I know the tifo went just about as well as this. So
what was the tifo?
The tifo was supposed to be something like the Terminator with Tata, and only half of it got brought onto the wire. So that was super fun for them. I feel really bad for everybody that worked on it because everyone saw about a corner of it. So I think we're here.
Yikes.
We're here. Oh my God. Okay. So Mark Tanner, welcome. After a couple minutes of finagling, yes, this feels like a 2020 COVID broadcast. But yes. So who wants to go first? I think Tanner. Yeah, you're about to fall asleep. So yes.
Yeah, I gotta be up early. I gotta do some flying tomorrow, weather permitting.
Oh, right.
Crazy weekend in the flying department this weekend. Oh, sorry, I've got the Formula One race on in the background. It's the first Formula One race of the year, and there was almost a crazy wreck off the rip. Anyway, yeah, so that was both miserable of a viewing experience, especially the first half. I think there was some positives to take as far as like there was progress in the attacking department compared to the first 2 games, which was absolutely listless and felt like there was zero chance creation. I think that I'm going to butcher his name again because I'm tired, but Galarza, did I get that one right?
No, Galarza.
Galarza, apologies, tired. Galarza was really, really bright. I think that he's probably going to be taking Cooper Sanchez's spot in the starting lineup, and he should be starting going forward. He was very, very positive, always looking to get the ball forward, had some really good line-breaking passes. Atlanta United was able to progress the ball a lot better tonight, I thought, able to get it to the final third, but being able to get it into the box and create chances ended up being the problem on that end. And then on the opposite side, is this what the defending has been like the last few years? Because that first half was just absolutely embarrassing. I don't know what Lucas Hoyos is doing in goal. He's like a Sanchez-Onana hybrid that just does horrible things and makes everything look difficult for no reason whatsoever. I feel like his presence just unsettles the back line and the rest of the team writ large because they don't know what he's going to do. His distribution is poor. I feel like we really lack pace in the back line, and I know that's something that we'll definitely get into later as far as a selection for who Tata's picking at center back. But I mean, it's frustrating to see them lose again. At least they scored goals this time. At least there was something positive as far as, attacking and a couple new players making their debuts. But still, another loss is another loss, and that's got to be difficult and frustrating for every fan that went to that game and then got rained on afterwards.
Indeed, yeah. It's rained on the parade in multiple ways, and it's just a miserable night through and through as far as football entertainment goes. The tailgate was incredible vibes and definitely always fun, but those things can really only take you so far when the club really harps on being just this monolith of winning and just this this club that just exudes only the highest of highest things. And right now, we're just lowest of depths as far as, we're just breaking records left and right of what we don't really want to see, essentially. But, Mark, how did you find this match? I think you might be on mute. Yes, you are mute. Hold on. Oh, boy.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Deplorable for the first 30 minutes or so. And here's the thing, right? Like, because I was thinking, like, I am happy to see at least there was some fight. We saw goals for the first time this season, so that's cool. But then I think about also the context, right? RSL missing all those players. The fact that we're the home team, right? So you would, like, at this point, I feel like teams concede possession at the bends. That's just what they do, right? They're gonna sit off. And like we talked about the match, I think at this point teams pretty much know how to play Atlanta United. Like, I feel like I watched that match like for the past like 3-4 seasons, where Atlanta United are having the ball in the opponent's half, the entire team is up, right? But it never felt like, for the first 30-35 minutes, it just never felt threatening. It felt like we were vulnerable when we had the ball, which was extremely frustrating. Like, and there were a couple counters before the first goal that were warning signs, I think. Like, when for the first goal, when the pass like breaks the line and it gets through, it's like, oh, this is at least a shot on target. Like, you can see it happening. Like, you can already tell there's no way that RSL striker is being caught in that situation. And I mean, like, it felt, in a lot of ways, it felt like everybody was going through the motions, right? Like, the players, the fans, even, it's like the chants didn't really have the same oomph, right? I feel like even the first goal, first of all, the first goal, you could tell it came out of nowhere, because like there was a delayed reaction, and even the goal celebration and pyrotechnics were delayed. Like, everyone was like, oh shit, a goal. Like, and then immediately cough it up again. It just, I think like for that first half, it was just like there was no confidence in the team. Obviously, there were boos. I did a little booing myself, right? Like it was just bad. Second half obviously was better, but then at that point, I also think about like the game state. Like RSL is going to sit off a bit. They're going to try to see out a 2-goal lead, and they did that for the most part. I mean, I don't want to completely take away from what Atl United did. Like, I think some of the attacking play, especially in the second half, was encouraging. But I do wonder, like, how much of this can we actually build off of?
Mm-hmm.
And also, actually, the last thing you said, AJ, in terms of setting bad records, when's the last time Atl United went 2-0 down in 3 straight matches? And when's the last time they started the season like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unprecedented. We haven't. Spoiler. So, but and I think that's the rub here is not much can be really blamed on Tata except for the fact of his team selection, really. And because it's like, as far as okay, maybe that's not entirely correct, because if we're still trying to play out from the back when we clearly cannot, and we're persisting with the system that's, I mean, I don't know. I think there is an aspect that we really need to be pragmatic early to get fans on board early, so that, there's not this malaise, because, yes, the home opener is out of the way now. Good effing luck getting other people going to the other matches, because I'm not so sure it's going to be as filled as it was tonight, because I think most of the people are seeing this. Like the diehards are watching this constantly. There's a lot of people that we know that have given up their season tickets. And so it's just, at this point, most people are losing money on their season tickets if they actually can't go to any games. A lot of people have done the smart thing, have done the fiscally responsible thing here. But back to the game. I think it's this. That defensive type of play that we probably need to do, because we can't continue to play this high line. Like, it just cannot continue to happen unless we change the personnel that's in it. And now's the time to talk about it, because, Mihai, Barakal are not the guys to play this high line. They're not good enough on the ball. They definitely don't have the pace, and we're getting embarrassed out there early, often, and it's ruining the game states. We have to, we're not good enough in attack to do this. So we have to be pragmatic. But Tanner, I mean,
I mean, it's different when in 2018 you have one of the best attacks in the league, and the whole Terry Neals, we'd rather win 5-3 than 1-0, right? And you know that you're going to get goals. I mean, yes, I'm trying to be positive a little bit in terms of, like, compared to the first 2 games, right? I'm not comparing it to what y'all have seen over the last few seasons, right? Because I haven't been present for that, and I know this is a lot of the same as far as, conceding in embarrassing ways. What Mark was talking about earlier, when that ball goes through for the first goal for Salt Lake, as soon as that ball got played through, with the people I was watching with, I was like, goal. Before the ball had even kicked, I knew it was a goal. And the reason was because Barakal has no pace, and you knew he was going to get torched. And I have no faith in Hoyos to do anything other than to look like a fool. I mean, I know that apparently he's one of Tata's guys, but if you're going to play a high line, you have to have a reliable goalkeeper you can trust, and 2 center backs, one of which at least one has to have some sort of recovery pace. And I don't have neither of that. Well, they do have Gregerson, but he's on the bench, or I don't even know what happened. Does he even exist anymore? Because he has a little bit more than what these guys have, and they look like they're running in concrete. I don't know. It's frustrating. And it almost, that first 30 minutes was so diabolical. I was, turning and saying to my friends, it feels like there's no leader from the pitch. Yes, Miguel Almiron is wearing the armband, but in 2018, you had people like Jeff Lorowitz, and you had Parkey, who were able to actually get the team going. They were leaders. They'd been there. They could get people fired up. You don't have that anymore. Who's sticking it up the team when they're on the pitch playing poorly? No one's there, because Almiron loses the ball every single time he gets to the final third. He occasionally gets lucky and gets past somebody, but you can't look to him as the captain and be like, yeah, he's going to rah and get the guys going forward. Where's the leaders? There's no leaders out there. There's no one out there grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and trying to pick their teammates up and get things going. And it felt like things were a little bit helter-skelter and like, okay, we're going to start piling on pressure because RSL were missing players. They did sit deep. They did allow Atlanta to play. Again, there were small good bits here and there. You had, Mayumba, who was able to play some line-breaking passes. I thought he was decent coming into the starting lineup tonight. I thought he did a decent job. But on the whole, like, you can't keep playing this way. Atlanta were 2-0 down in a comical fashion, and then the game's pretty much dead with this team because they're not going to score goals. And then when they do get one, they immediately concede. And the second goal was luck. I mean, I don't know why a striker in that position is not shooting. It worked out. The goal ended up going in. But, like, the fact that he is bearing down on the 6-yard box, you are a $20 million striker, and he's not shooting the ball? What are we doing? I mean, yes, his service hasn't been great, but that's exactly what... I mean, Joseph Martinez is shooting that ball 100 out of 100 times every single time he got it. He's never looking for anyone else because he's trusting himself, and he's either going to try and flip his hips and put it in the far post or blast it to the near. He's not trying to off a pass across the box and hoping that his teammate actually puts it in. Like, what is he doing as a striker? Like, when you finally get the ball, you're not even shooting? You're right. They can't keep playing this way. The system is not working, and if there's other players that can make it work better, you got to. But those those things right there just blew my mind.
Right. So there was a shot early from Atl Utd that's it was a little bit like man, like how did you miss it, for one? And then I think he lost his confidence, especially in a period of time where his career is not exactly going in an upward trajectory, and the confidence is not exactly exuding out of his eyeballs. It's in fact, in some ways, unfortunately, I think it's bringing the team down a little bit because, there is an aspect where there's people making runs, and he's making some decent runs sometimes, but then they're not being fed because these players aren't looking up. And then when they're not being fed, when they make the runs, they stop making the runs. We look static, and ultimately, you have those moments where, okay, we might luck into a goal, which is what kind of happened tonight, but what parts of those are repeatable? What parts of those are patterns or play that we can see, we could do that next week and, score another goal? Mark.
And two more moments on that, if I can, real quickly, because they're just on my mind and I have to get them out.
Sure.
There was one moment in the second half where Galarza played a really, really good through ball into Atl, and he just could not control it. He wasn't. It was right there, and then it ends up taking him out wide, and the impetus of the attacking move is lost. If he can control that ball, he's running into the box, and he might have a chance for a shot. And then late on, there was a corner from Saba that he's perfectly at the edge of the 6-yard box at the far post. You've got to be able to put that on target, and it just sails into the supporter section. And it's just like, dude, I mean, there's two more opportunities right there where the ball's being played to you in a dangerous area, and you can't even put a shot on target or control a ball.
Yeah, it's at this point, there's not even an argument for him not getting good service at certain points of the match. It's like you're getting service, but your touch is like a brick wall, and unfortunately, like that cannot happen. Especially these guys are only playing once a week. Like, it's not like you guys are like, this is like the start of the season. Like, this cannot happen right now. Like, it's really showing just more of a lack of quality, unfortunately, and that's even more damning, I feel like, because it's not just on the players at that point, it's on the decision makers. But Mark.
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment late in the match where I looked down and I was like, oh, Atl is still on the field. Like, it's, I thought he had a very, very quiet game. Yeah, I mean, there's that one shot early on that was basically like catching practice for the goalkeeper. There's that missed header, I think, Tanner, you just referenced, right? But no, even like, I think Tanner's spot on in terms of like the second goal. Because I also had that same thought. Like, he is he's really bearing down on goal. Like when you see it in person, it's like he is right there, and he squared it. Like the shot that who was it that scored a second goal again?
Moranchuk.
Yeah, it was Moranchuk for both goals.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's almost more of an own goal because I watching it on TV, he hits it at the keeper, and the keeper basically like pulls the ball into the net because he can't
I think the
control
keeper should keep it out. But also,
100%, it should be saved.
Moranchuk's shot from where he shot was more difficult than where Latte Lat was when he passed.
And it's on his weak foot. Like Moranchuk had to shoot with his weak foot. I mean, it's just like there's.
Remind me again, what foot is Latte Lat? Is he left or right footed?
He's right footed, yeah, and so.
Why did he not shoot it then?
Yeah.
Why did he not shoot it? It's right in front of him. You have the whole goal right in front of you, and you hit it with your weak foot to your teammate's weak foot.
Yeah,
like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's clear that there is a loss of confidence, and it's you know, but go ahead.
No, yeah, and like just other than that, like I don't want to like pile on Latte Lat too much, but there were just so many times where it's like a through ball and he's just like not getting to it, ball across and he's like late on the run. It's just like man, like and to with the point that I forget which one of y'all was talking about this, but basically like the runs, I think AJ, the runs not being fed, right? Like it is really difficult to play soccer when you're not doing it instinctively. And it really just feels like everybody is waiting to see what their teammate does before they're like, it's like, okay, he controlled it. Okay, now I'm going to make the run. You know, like guys about, like, oh, is he on the, like there was Moranchuk, had an opportunity to play in Almiron in the first half, and like Almiron is like calling for it, and Moranchuk holds on for it for an extra second for no reason really, and then by the time he tries to play the ball in, defenders recovered. You know, it's like that stuff has to be instinctive, and I think there's a lack of trust
100%.
Amongst the team.
100%.
They don't trust that the other person is going to do what they're supposed to do, so they're waiting to see it happen first. And you just can't play that way. That's how you become ponderous. That's how you become vulnerable in possession. And that's how you give up silly goals. Like,
yeah, and it's that. Good.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, there was a moment late on in the match, maybe in the 80th or so minute, where we win the ball back, played forward quickly to Moranchuk, and he has the opportunity to drive into space. Like, he's literally in the middle of the pitch. He's got open grass in front of him. He can drive towards the box, try and draw some defenders, and then make a play. And he just slows it down while we're chasing a goal. And it's like, cool, you got 2 goals on it, but brother, you're one of our most important players in attack. You have space, drive. And then again, there was another moment later on where, guys, there's got to be some you know, rapid nature to how we're playing these balls, because we're losing and there's not much time left. He gets the ball on the right. Where was the space the whole game? Down the wings. How many times did we play the ball over the top to Miguel Almiron? Because RSL were packing the middle of the pitch. Saba's sitting there on the right hand side. Saba, for all of his falls, actually put in some decent balls in his short time on the field. And he's there, and Moranchuk then turns, plays it back in, and it just goes out for another goal kick. And it's like, what are we doing? Trust your teammate. He's right there. He's in space. Give him an opportunity to get the ball into the box. Marcus is totally spot on. There's no trust. Not only is there not trust in your teammates, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of trust in the players themselves, like in their own ability. I mean, Miguel Almiron, for all of his falls, at least he was trying. I mean, he hit a lot of balls into the box, and, you know, I'll be damned, can someone run to the near post at least once, for fuck's sake? Like, the ball clearly isn't getting collected at the far post, so if someone tried to get there, that is how kind of the Moranchuk goal came about for the first one. But there seems to be no trust, and that goes back to the leadership thing. And the leadership thing also comes from a culture thing. I'm sitting here watching this team and going, where is this culture of excellence that the club wants to talk about? Because it seems almost to be apathy from the players and apathy from the fans. And you can't blame the fans. They've had the prices jacked up on them while the product on the pitch has gone down. And, like, where is the culture of this club that we were following pre-COVID, that was competing for MLS Cups, that was this, you know, lightning in a bottle? Oh my gosh, look how amazing soccer is in Atlanta. Like, where's that team? It's not there. I mean, it's going to take a while because it's been running to the ground over the last few years, but you got to have something. And I think that's for me, that's kind of why when I see, Galarza come on, he's very positive. He gets the ball immediately. He wants some. He's trying to take the team forward and make things happen. You need that from other players. You need to have this like, fuck it, I'm going to try and make something happen because we got to at least try to win the damn game. And it just seems like that's not there from a lot of them. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, and it's exactly where Galarza came in. He looked instinctual. He looked like someone that, unfortunately, just wasn't infected. Unfortunately, I think is the best word here.
No,
by the other
right.
players. That the longer it seems like like a new player comes in, and then they get assimilated into the squad, and then they just start getting ponderous. They start dwelling on the ball a little longer. They start playing like each other, and it just, it screams timid. It screams where these players, again, still, it's like some of them have played together more than a year. They look like strangers on the pitch, and then on top of that, it's like Galarza, like he was pressing high. He wasn't even waiting for the ball to come back. He was, running in behind just in case that ball came. And that's exactly what you want to see. And hopefully that doesn't get beat out of him by somebody because, I don't know. I don't think anybody's actually saying that. I would hope not. And I think Tata, would know well enough. I mean, yes, he brought him in for that reason because he liked his qualities. And yeah, there's just got to be more players that come in with that hungry nature because, Galarza can make the Paraguayan squad. So, yes, he wants to play. He wants to prove himself. He wants to make the World Cup. So, more of those type of players that are not, absolute bang on, nailed into their national teams, but also guys that actually want to play, want to do well, want to show out. I mean, there's a handful, maybe. I'm not even sure I can count to 5.
Baez did decent. I think Baez was fine. I mean, that's 2 signings for Tata that I think have looked decent so far. He was trying to be progressive. He got forward when he could. I thought he made a few good passes here and there. It's just, I hate to make the comparison, and I've probably made it before, but like, we're all Premier League watchers here. Feels very Manchester United because like
that it does. That it does, my friend.
Big players, and it's just like you bring these players in, and they might look bright at the start, but then they get infected with the bullshit, and then they look mid, just like everybody else. And you saw them do well in different places, and then they come here, and then they're shit. And it's like, why? What's happened? What's changed? And the only thing that you can say is that it's the culture of the club. That something is there that is breeding mediocrity, that the standards have fallen, and the people that set those standards, which in the past were your people like Joseph, because he was a relentless winner, and he was going to be a dickhead if you didn't want to work your ass off to win. Harkey, Lorenowitz, you had people that were bastards on the team that were going to go and kick the shit out of somebody just to light the rest of the team up if people were flat. It's not there anymore. You don't have that. And it takes time to turn that over and get that back in the team. But like, is there any reasonable fan who has faith in the club to do that, given how the last 5, almost 6 years have been? I don't think so. The only other way that's going to happen is if you're saying, okay, we're going to give Tata a blank check and say, hey, go find more players that suit this, that were similar to the 2018 squad. But then you also, by doing that, end up pigeonholing yourself, because if Tata leaves, then what do you do? There's no thought. There's no overarching strategy. There's no idea of looking at this league and saying, how can we make a team and try and be consistent? And this is a hard league to do that in, unless you're Inter Miami and the league is actively cheating for you to win because it wants you to. LAFC, for the most part, have been pretty stable. They've managed to keep their team. They've had a down year. I know they've had a couple where they haven't been as good, but for the most part, they've been relatively stable at the top during their time in the league now. Garth was supposed to be that, and obviously for reasons not within his control, he's now gone. But you've got to find some decision makers that can come together and look at this league and figure out a strategy to get this team performing year over year. How do you build it? How do you bring you through? Obviously, Cooper Sanchez is supposed to be part of that, having a youth player that's in the team and building around that. But I just don't see, in the short time I've been watching this team since I've come back, with the stories I've heard from the fans that have been here the whole time, I don't know how the club can expect fans to keep coming to matches until the club has proven to the fans that they're worth a damn.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how long that will take. And I don't know if that will happen this season. And there has to be at least something that gives people an inkling of hope that it's going to get better. Because if it's not, it's going to get worse. And right now, there's some positives for sure. But if the other new guys get infected with the bullshit, the only thing Atlanta has going to be winning anytime soon is going to be the wooden spoon.
There is a comment by Hibyai 45. Really hard to read your name. I apologize there. But he says, Tata is going to resign from coaching after a season with this team. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Bro, is he even going to last a season? Like, at this rate, bro? Like, okay, on a serious note, right, with Tata, the thing is, like, I don't think it's reasonable to expect him to stay longer than 2 years, maybe 3, and that's if it goes well, right? And so, like, what is the plan, right? Like, it just comes back to this, and this is a consistent dialogue that we've been having pretty much since 2020. Right? It's like, like all the money spent, the cycling through managers, the holding on to managers when it seems pretty clear that they should be sacked. Like, what is the plan? And I just, like, after we made changes at the top and that didn't move anything, it really, like, it's really worrying, I think, I mean, look, Tanner, you made the Man U reference, right? All I'll say is we are lucky that relegation doesn't exist in this league, because we could be Spurs right now. I'm sorry, AJ. Please don't go after me.
Oh, no. I want to go in. I want to go in on that. But, there's a lot of Spurs fans.
There's one difference, though. There's one difference between us and Spurs, minus something that happened last year in a league we won't talk about when they beat a team with no in a shit game that we won't talk about, is that Spurs don't win. But Atlanta has at least won the league. Spurs haven't done that in like 60 years, and God willing they never do again, because all of us here hate Spurs. But I mean, it really depends on how much Tata cares. He's closer to the end of his career than in the beginning. And if it's an absolute shit show and we're losing every single week, if I'm Tata, I don't got time for that. Like, what am I doing here? I'm not going to sit here and just like lose if Tata quit before the season ended because we were shit, given how bad everything has been, I think most fans would be like, yeah, fair enough. Like, it's not going to tarnish his legacy from the first time around. If he stays here for 2 years and we're shit for 2 years, now it's like, well, first time was great. Obviously we won, but like, damn, this has been bad. Very Spursy.
Right. And Rancho Dos Pinos says we are Spurs. I don't know about that. We've won something, like actually substantial, but not a.
There got to be some respect put on the brand here, okay? Like, we have to understand Spurs. There was a tracker for how long it had been since they had won a trophy that they broke only because they beat the aforementioned terrible dog shit Manchester United.
Yeah,
so
not the good Manchester United this season.
Not the good one, the bad one under a manager that gaslit the fans for the best part of a year about how bad they were.
Okay.
So like, not even a good one. And even then, they won because the goalkeeper basically chucked the ball into his own net again. So like,
okay,
they
so
didn't even do well. Anyway.
Yes. But on this, so on Tata and why he would stay, right? I mean, I think we would have to back a dump truck of money, probably more than one dump truck, and basically give him the reins to the team and say, hey, Chris Henderson, you're pretty great at what you do in this league, at least the track record anyway, but we're going to give the reins to Tata and just he's gonna just tell you who he's gonna bring in. How about that? And you know, I think that's probably the best way. We have these 2 buyouts. Probably, yeah, I would suspect that right before the summer window, if it still goes similar to how it's going right now, it might, yeah, the writing's probably on the wall. But as far as, you know, if he stays and, you know, we're still shit, there is an argument that, yeah, I mean, ultimately the culture is just so bad that, you know, like so Mike on the show has mentioned a lot that, you know, it's been fundamentally a broken culture and very cliquey, very much where a lot of players just don't look like they really want to be here. They're here for mercenary purposes. They're here for their next move. They're here for the paycheck. They're here because, well, yeah, you know, who doesn't want to make a fat paycheck and play in a really nice stadium for a lot of fans that come out, but ultimately, yeah, you don't even have to do well. You're still getting your fat paycheck, and you're still on this team after a couple years where you're still, yeah, you're pretty mid. You're pretty mid and not doing anything. Like, it's, yeah, the level of mediocrity that's pretty much accepted, but there is this, of course. We can't just, again, and no offense to any players, but you can't just have people buy your trash. It's just, that doesn't happen. And so,
the Manchester United comparison again, same thing. I mean, who's out there fighting for the badge? And you'd hope it would be Miguel Almiron, but let's be honest, at times, even then,
yeah, there are moments that it's been highlighted, especially this week, that it was questionable on some of his efforts. But, you know, if you're dogging on a forward for not making a, you know, tracking back, okay, yeah, it's part of the problem. Absolutely. It's part of the culture problem that not everyone is, you know, bought in for every single minute of every single match. And that's why we concede, because, yeah, it's not because, you know, of other reasons. Yes, you have to, in this league, in any league, be switched on for the entire match. Otherwise, the margins are just too small. And, you know, I think we've been guilty of that way too much. And, yeah, this club, again, built on these ethos that, we can't live up to them anymore. Like, we really have to humble ourselves. We really have to start looking in the mirror, and start realizing, hey, you know, this marketing message needs to be different. We need to be what we are, the underdogs, the type of team that is no longer a big club. We're not quite Spurs. Sorry to any Spurs fans. Sorry, not sorry. But,
fuck them.
but, because there are some watching, and yeah, we don't want to alienate everybody or anything like that. It's just, yes, you know, we're Tottenham haters. It's just what it is. But especially me. But somehow I'm the reasonable one here. But the it's this aspect, right? Is that, you know, Tata? Well, he also has a son that's coaching with him. Is his son an heir apparent to somebody that, you know, does he want to coach in the future? Obviously, he at some level wants to. You know, maybe there is something that's, yeah, we can build a foundation so that, you know, it's not just all this, where it's just, yeah, you know, the horizon is really not in sight. Like, I'm pretty optimistic as a fan generally, but yeah, you know, this team has broken a lot of fans, unfortunately, and it's getting there. It's getting there for a lot of people. I mean, when 9-10 year season ticket holders are basically giving up their tickets, I mean, the writing's on the wall. I mean, yeah, you got to fix up fast. Otherwise, You know, like you're just gonna be playing to a cavernous stadium, and it's just at that point, it's that like, oh, they're the also rans. Like, oh, didn't they used to be good? Oh, like what happened to Atlanta United?
Yo, you remember AJ? You remember back in the day when I would say, like, I really don't want us to be another Chicago Fire, another DC United, you know, another one of these franchises who. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, great shout. New England Revolution, where yeah, started off great. You know, they were kind of game changers for the league and all that, and then they just became like another MLS team, also rans, and like putting whatever product on the field, and not giving people something to be excited about. Really, that's starting to happen here, and that's really surprising. Like. I mean, look, maybe this is what, yeah, I mean, obviously we know that this is what happened with other teams, but it is like just to see it happen here, just to see the way that like Atlanta United was like an MLS favorite, right? Like back in, back in 2018 when we had the old TV deals where you had like the local channels and then the nationally televised games, like half of our games would be on national television, all the big commentators would always be on Atlanta United games. And now it's like, what's the reason to talk about us? I mean, like right now it's Tata, right? Right now it's Almiron. Right now it's the money spent on Latte Lot. But aside from that, what's the reason to even talk about Atlanta United? Like even
fun of us.
Yeah, and I mean even the losing is it's become so boring and expected. Like the way we lose these games too. This is just who we are now. Like this is it's the worst part.
Groundhog Day. Every match week's a Groundhog Day, where I can only imagine, AJ, and you can probably testify to this. You've been having this exact same stream with the exception of obviously beating Inter Miami a couple years ago, for the best part of 2 years now, where, oh, look, Atlanta United lost. Again, they shipped 2 to 3 stupid goals. They didn't score themselves. Although at least today, you out XG RSL and they scored 2 goals that were bangers. Although I will still stand by the fact that I think if you have a goalkeeper that's taller than Frodo Baggins, he gets his hand to at least one of those.
Let's pause there real quick. So Hoyos is 6 feet tall, and it checks out.
He does not look it. That's a lie.
I know. No,
that's a lie.
Well, hold on.
That's an NBA listing.
No. Hold on. Because when he stands next to the other players, like Barakal, like Mihai, like Tomas Jakob, he looks 6 feet tall. But the problem is, which I was kind of describing on 5 Star Weekly, was that I think he lacks the girth. Pardon my phrasing, but it's like he's not a meaty guy. Let's just say that, right? And not to say any of us are, but to be a goalkeeper, yeah, you got to be able to command your box. You got to be able to, on corner, set pieces, dead balls, be able to basically be that imposing figure. And yeah, no one would accuse him of that, and there's somebody on the bench that kind of is. And, a lot of people have already ragged on him as far as Hoyos. And, Hibbert, I think, if anything, he is a unit. If anything, he's a shot stopper. And what do we need right now? We need some stability in that back. We need someone who can stop some of these these ridiculous moments that we were able to at least kind of stave off a little bit of this. Still, the back line is important of shielding him at least, and that's largely been an issue, of course. And, to your point, are we having a similar stream every single time? Oddly enough, there's something new that pops up with this team in how we shit the bed pretty often. It's wild. So, somehow we're finding new things to talk about as far as we just are a team that find new ways to lose. Instead, it should be the other way around. But yeah, I mean, it's just, again, like tonight, like worst start to a season ever. Like, how many of us would even thought that would happen 6 years ago, right? Most of us would probably be like, you're crazy. Like, yeah, this thing's going to be going on for a while. Like, LAFC, Inter Miami, these two clubs are building dynasties, and they pretty much are very close. And they've shown that it's possible, that you can stave off parity, that you can be a club that melds the MLS 2.0 with the 3.0 and attract, very big names, but also, kind of the mid-tier names to do really well in this league. And somehow we've lost sight of that. Yeah.
Got nothing else to add to that. That feels about right.
Yeah. But, yeah, so Tanner, I know you do have to go at some point, so I'm going to let you head out.
I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here.
Yeah, man. Pleasure. Thank you, man. Be well. Safe travels.
See y'all. Absolutely.
And we'll get Mark on this part of it somehow, if it will do it. Ay caramba.
More technical difficulties.
More technical difficulties. I'm going to never update this program ever again. That's what's going to happen, because this looks like what's happening. Oh boy. Okay, anyway. In the meantime, I'm going to read the chat a little bit. Tanner got a trophy by Antara Moody. Congrats to him. Not sure what that's about, but probably just what he mentioned. So that's good. Let's get Mark fully in this shot. Maybe. Somehow. No. Oh, I'm getting closer. Maybe. Man, this is just madness. It doesn't make any sense. Just utter wildness. Oh, we're almost there. There we go. Slowly but surely. Okay, and then me. Oh, don't do that. Okay, not good enough, but apologies, guys. You just bear with us. This is about the craziest stream that I've ever taken a part of, but and oh my god. Okay. So, anyway, Mark, if you want to talk a little bit about any more thoughts you have while I try to do this, please do.
No, you're good. I will say, like, going to the tailgate, seeing everybody, like, it was, you alluded to this, but it was a pretty decent crowd tonight. And, like, that's a big part of the reason why I made it a point to go to the home opener. I knew that, like, people would come out. And, like, another thing you alluded to is how long we've been going to Atlanta United matches now. I mean, it's been since 2017 for some of us. I mean, I attended one match in 2017 and then like a couple in 2018 and then the playoff run of 2018 and so on. So, but yeah, like pretty much the last, Atlanta United have been a part of our lives the last like 8 to 9 years. And with that, it's brought like community, like we've met people, made friends through Atlanta United. And so that's still like, even though the team is trash, like there's still that draw, right? There's still that instinct to go to the games, to see the people that that you've grown to love. And but it's just, we don't need the team necessarily to do that also, right? Like you know what I mean? Like it just is what it is. Now another thing I think about too, it's kind of ironic when you think about soccer in Atlanta. It's actually ironic what's happened, because like everything that we see now in terms of the World Cup, Copa, the NWSL team coming here, all of that is because of Atlanta United. It's because of the success of Atlanta United on and off the field. And now, like, when you think about the Bends and the soccer that they're hosting, Atlanta United is like at the bottom of that totem pole. They're irrelevant in their own building, even. You know, I think that's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to a World Cup match. We'll see if that ends up happening. But, you know, obviously we went to the Copa opener. You know, we've been to other matches as well, Premier League matches and so forth at the Bends. Like, it's just stark, the atmosphere that those matches have versus your typical Atlanta United home game these days. Like, and this, like I mentioned before, like, this was a better crowd than, you know, probably what we'll see for the next home game. Certainly what I was seeing like middle of last summer, you know, middle of the summer before, right? I mean, it's been some really dire crowds, and it can get worse. I just hope that people realize that, people at the club realize that it can absolutely get worse than what it is right now. So I don't know, man. You really do wonder about the direction of the club.
And absolutely, I mean, the direction seems to have been lost a while ago, and you know, with regime changes, that obviously can very much happen. Now, Braguzan is, you know, kind of an ambassador, kind of a, I mean, almost in a sense, I mean, I would hope anyway, someone who's kind of like auditing what's going on and trying to learn about these new departments, or not new departments, but the departments within the business itself. And, you know, make no bones about it, the marketing has been top notch for LA United. It's really just been the product on the field that has suffered in the past half decade. And, you know, obviously those things need to align in order for there to be synergy, in order for there to be people that actually get what's going on, because you can't talk that big of a game and then there's nothing behind it. It's just like a low whimper of, you know, really just, I mean, let's just be real, pitiful football. Like it's been something that, like, man, like I hate that we have to talk about it like this, but it's just the reality. I mean, it's like, if we're just pumping sunshine, if we're just being like, oh yeah, well, you know, this could get better at some point, and, you know, like, we have to believe, we have to trust the process. Like, we've been trusting the process for half a decade, and there hasn't been, again, a horizon in sight that is actually hopeful. I don't see the sun coming up. Like, I don't know where it's going to come from. And that's a massive, massive thing for, I think, a lot of fans, because, you know, they say the hope, it's the hope that kills you. I think it's the apathy that kills you, man. Like, like the hope still keeps you there. The apathy is where people disappear. And I said this, I think probably 3 years ago, maybe, I'm not even sure, but yeah, once the casuals are gone, but then once the fervent fans are gone, like, you're starting to see it. And yeah, I think there has to start to be ruthlessness, unfortunately, because what is happening cannot continue to happen. It's obviously wrong. It's obviously not progressing into the fashion that we wanted to. And so, you know, obviously it's not where you fire Tata right now. It's not where you let go of players right now, but it's also the backroom staff. It's the technical staff. It's the video guys. It's everybody needs to be audited, because who's been brought in? Yeah, there's there is a disconnect between what's working and obviously all the things that are not working. And so it's just like, yeah, at this point, like, we all hope Tata could be the savior.
Right.
And Tata, he's in over his head too, unfortunately. Like, that much is clear. Like, this is not his doing. This is not his fault. But he's got a lot to do.
Yeah. You know, I'm so glad you made the point that, like, we don't want to do this. You know what I mean? Like, we ourselves, I mean, you hear us obviously, I think, saying what needs to be said, but, you know, ripping into the team a bit. But like last year, coming into the season, there was so much hope. There was so much optimism, right? You know, and I thought that maybe we could turn it around. I thought maybe we could at least be a playoff team, you know, start to see something that kind of resembled Atlanta United from before. And no, nothing. And then this year now I will say, right, when Tata was announced, I had my reservations, but I felt like there was a lot of optimism within the community, and I respected that, to be honest. I said, you know what? I don't know for a fact that this isn't going to work out, so let's just see. Let's just see how it looks after an off season. You know, let's see if there's any kind of improvement or anything. And so far, it's no. We just look as bad as before, maybe worse. I mean, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, before, we've started the season well, and then it kind of tapered off. Is it good that, are we just getting the worst of it out of the way? I mean,
man, I hope
that's what I have to hold on to.
Right, man, I hope. Because, I mean, yeah, Tata is preaching that patience, that, yes, this is a rebuild. This is a project. And I'm glad he recognizes that and is harping on that part. Because, yes, if he was in a maybe delusion of like, oh, yeah, well, this is something that's, you know, I can fix immediately. Like, we should be contending shortly. It's like, it would, I think, really make me really worried. I think there's at least the patience that is needed here. Absolutely. And but let's get to a couple of comments here. But yeah, Lightning 0491, Drew, what's up? It's time to start Stian and Hibbert, and move Mira to midfield and let him continue to cook. I mean, what do you think about the personnel that's been chosen so far? I mean, I know obviously, you haven't been in the depths of it quite as much lately, but as far as the personnel that's been chosen on the pitch, do you feel like in this small sample size, you know, are there some flaws? Are there some? I mean, obviously there are flaws, but you know, what's not working for you? What is working for you?
I'm tired of seeing us give up the same goal over and over and over again, you know? And so I don't know if that's a personnel issue. I mean, like, obviously the speed in the back line is an issue. I also thought that RSL seemed to favor going down the left, which I don't know what that says about our, you know, right back and right center back. But yeah, you know, I don't know if that's a personnel issue or if it's a, you know, tactics issue, philosophical issue, or what. Like, I kind of wonder, like, would Tata do something like rip up what he's been trying to instill and just do like a counterattacking style? I mean,
yeah, I mean, because it's like there's a case to be made that if you don't have the personnel to do it, then because it's like there's a Barcelona way and there's a Real Madrid way, right? And Real Madrid, they're pragmatic when they need to be. And, if they feel like, okay, technical ability wise, we're not at your level, but you know what we can do? We can outwork you. We can hit you on the counter, and through our skill, which might be, as far as scoring goals, we can beat you. We can find ways to beat you, and we'll lean on those type of things instead of, and I think we know the answer. Tata is more from the school of Bielsa, more stubbornness, from Barcelona, which is, more stubbornness, which is basically persisting with your system. But you have to have the technical players, and if you don't, you get exposed like this, and this is what happens. And not every team can play off from the back and, play beautiful football where, you can, 20 pass them to death and just tap it in. Like, it's just not the case for every single club. And I think we're seeing those type of issues where, these problems aren't unique to us. Let's be real.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of, championship clubs, a lot of League One clubs that, they've seen that, it's like Pep Guardiola and Spain, the way that they played in the late 2000s and early 2010s pretty much influenced an entire generation of coaches. And
right. Yeah.
I think it's in some way diluted a lot of not only coaches, but fans and everything in between alike, because, there's a reason why there's really only a handful of top-level leagues that have the most technical players. And this league is not mistaken for a technical league. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
And it's just that.
Exactly. We have good players, right? But I think it's a certain profile player that does well in this league. And I also think, like, the type of players that can play that type of style, like meaning like the Barcelona style and, super technical and so on, those players tend to be really sought after. Those players tend to be the most expensive, right? So it's like, as an MLS team, I think you're at a disadvantage. We've talked about this before. Like, your ball playing center back, that who can start a build up. Your all around, like, technical midfielder, who can be like your deep line playmaker and so on. There just isn't that many of that player in MLS, period. So I think for a long time now, it's felt like Atl and I have been chasing this style, right? This, I guess you could associate European style. But like the slow, deliberate possession, like, I just don't think it never feels secure when we have the ball, especially when it's something I noticed, like, a lot of times, like, Almiron did this a couple of times, right? Would dribble to the sideline towards, like, around the half line, and then a couple RSL players would close him down on the sideline, almost like a trap, right? Like you see in basketball. And it was just, it happened so often that I felt like it was obvious that that's what they were trying to get Atlanta United players to do, was just get them into certain pockets where they could then attack them with the press with multiple players and go from there. And we just kept playing into it. And it's just like, dude, like, that's the thing, what I mean by we're easy to play against. Like,
it's fairly predictable because it's, not only is it U-shaped passing, but it's, like you're saying, like you're noticing astutely, I think, that, there are traps that other teams are setting to where, yes, they know how we play and they are aware, and especially Miggy, that, he is a player that's, he's going to be on the ball. And if they can pretty much isolate him and make him dribble into, dead ends, into corners that basically don't really make it where it's a a dangerous attack. It's a dangerous chance. Basically, he's going away from goal. I mean, yeah, they'll take that every single time, and I think that's part of the issue is that, well, beyond Miggy, I mean, who's willing to actually take on their defender,
Yeah.
and try to beat them to get in the box? Like, very few. I mean, I think we saw maybe a couple players in this match at least try to varying degree in effect. But yeah, it's just there needs to be more bravery, and I think we're seeing Miggy play a little bit of hero ball, but unfortunately, I don't think he has uh, the end product to actually be able to do much right now. Unfortunately, I think that's part of it. Like Thiago Mata, different story. You know, a lot younger, had the end product, and was known for that, and could pretty much, kind of like in basketball. Yeah, I mean, one player can affect the entire game like that. I mean,
Right.
he was that type of like. I think what I was gonna say earlier is we need those players that want to be him, want to be the guy, and I think what we're seeing more instead is guys who are hiding, guys who are, wanting to be a ghost essentially. And, I've had enough. I can't stand that type of profile on this team anymore because we have a team chock full of it. And it's just like, yeah. But we'll start wrapping up this the stream. We have a comment in the chat from Tara Ferguson, one of our new Patreon people. Thank you very much. Pretty much everyone that was starting last year got benched this year. Close, maybe. Obviously the designated players are still starting, and that's whether we can help it or not. That's really what's happening. But I mean, it's not entirely wrong. Yeah, Amador's not starting. Gregerson's not starting. Ronald Hernandez is, but he didn't start this match. Yeah, I mean, Muyumba did start this match, but wasn't starting the first two. Yeah, I mean, besides the DPs. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see why if, Tata is doing that to make sure that, okay, the people that did contribute to a record bad Atlanta United team last season, well, was it them? Was it, something else? I think he's getting information now that, yeah, it's not just the players that are benched. It's new players that are coming in. They're making some mistakes too. But hopefully, because they're more Tata's guys, that he can mold them into what he wants. Because, two fullbacks that are 22 years old, I mean, yeah, I think that's right into moldable territory where, if they want to be, starting level players in this league or any league, they should probably listen to Tata. They should, I think he, if anybody, is going to be able to get them to the level of a player that's, I mean, I think you saw Franco Escobar that was raw, but he was able to essentially mold him into an MLS Cup winner. And then he just started winning everywhere he went after that. And so, he always had that within him, but, I think it's Tata who was able to, I think pull that out of him. So hopefully that is something that Tata can do. Hopefully that, these players that show the promise, because yes, I think with Baez, with Jakob, with Galarza, these young guys that are wanting playing time and, are wanting to prove themselves are showing that, yes, they want to be here. They want to actually, make something of themselves and, aren't hiding. So hopefully that is the case. But Mark, final thoughts?
I would say it can't get worse, but it always can.
Yeah, I mean this is the thing. Rock bottom doesn't really have a bottom depth. I feel like we're seeing that it's like sea levels deep. Like when you get further down, you're like, oh, it goes further down. Oh wow, like it's really cold down here. Like it's man. Like this is a level that's I can't believe is real. Yeah, it very much can happen. I think like it's if we again do not fix up soon. Like this is yeah like all our heroes will be made into villains. Like it's just straight up. So, yeah, I think that's unfortunately where we're going to stop. And yeah, Mark, thank you so much for your time. But yes, if you are sticking around still at 12:22, on a rainy day in Atlanta in more ways than one, well then, thank you so much for watching. And yes, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I've been AJ. That's Mark. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Good night.